Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to share with you my first attempt at making an epoxy glitter tumbler. I'm super excited to try this. I have been wanting to do this for quite a while, and I did a lot of research and watched a lot of videos, and then I ordered all of the supplies that I would need, and they're finally here. So let me show you what I have, and then we'll get started. So first of all, I have a tumbler turner. I ordered this from Amazon. I ordered one and then it got lost in the shipping, or lost in the mail, so I had to reorder, and I actually picked a different one than the first one, just because this one looked a little bit like more sturdy. So this one is wood. It comes in a couple pieces, and you just have to put the screws in the correct place to put this together. And then on the end, it comes with this like foam roll. I had to cut some off to make it fit my tumbler, but it's a nice snug fit, which is what you want. I think this could stand to be a little bit tighter around the rod, because if you see when I pull the tumbler off, the foam comes out in the tumbler, but I don't really want to mess with that yet, just because I've already played around with it a couple times. So that just goes on the end, and then your tumbler fits right on side. It's nice and secure. And then you turn this on and you can see that the tumbler starts rotating. This tumbler, actually I bought a couple kits. I bought the kit with the turner, which came with some supplies, and then I bought a second kit that came with some epoxy and glitter, and just some supplies that you need. So this cup specifically though, I got from Walmart. It is the Ozark Trail brand, and I just wet sanded this. You want to do it wet because you don't want to breathe in all of the stuff that comes off when you sand it. So I took this outside. I did wear a mask just to be safe. I had the cup wet, and then I took a sanding block and sanded it, and then I spray painted it with the Rust-Oleum American Accents paint and primer. This is a satin. I think it's preferable to have a matte paint, but they did not have any kind of pink or maroon in a matte. But satin is not, like, you just don't want high gloss from what I have read. So satin should be okay. I actually wanted something a little bit brighter than this, but this was the closest I could get to a bright pink. So we're gonna see what happens with that. I hope it works out. I'm a little bit nervous because there's a lot of steps that go into this process. So the next thing I'm gonna do, one of the kits that I bought, and I will link the supplies in the description box just so you can see what I chose to go with. One of the kits came with like a silicone work mat, and I think this is supposed to just help protect the surface you're working at and allow for easy cleanup. It's very sticky. It's folded in half and it's like very much stuck together. It's not very big, so I think what I'm gonna do is put this under my turner, but then I'm gonna take my cheapest copy paper or cheapest printer paper, and I'm just gonna tape two sheets together. And what this is going to do is allow it to catch any glitter that falls off of my tumbler, and that way I can fold this and just pour it right back in the bottle, because the last thing we want to do is waste this beautiful glitter. Both of the kits I bought actually came with masking tape, because some people like to tape off the bottom and top of their tumblers before spray painting to leave a stainless steel, like silver edge around it, but that's optional, and I prefer the look personally of having the whole cup painted and glittered. So I did not do that with my cup. But just so you know, if you're a beginner, if you choose to do what I did and carry the paint and glitter right to the top, you do sometimes have to do a little bit of extra sanding at the top and bottom, because you don't want that textured glitter feeling to be right on the lip of the cup or at the very bottom of the cup where it sits. So it does add a little bit of extra work for you, but like I said, I just kind of prefer that look personally. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Both kits came with some gloves. I don't know that these are, I was just reading today that you really should use nitrile gloves, not latex, and I do not know what kind of gloves these are. So, but I don't want to waste them. So I'm going to use them and see how it goes. But I will order nitrile gloves soon. But I've seen a lot of people who use their hands directly on the cup to spread the epoxy out. My kits also came with these really cool silicone brushes, and I'm going to give those a try because I'm hoping that can take the place of spreading it out with my fingers. I think this may work. So I'm going to try this to keep the chemicals off my hands. Okay, what else did I get? A lot of miscellaneous things came in these kits, like popsicle sticks. I got measuring cups, lots of good stuff to get you started, as well as the resin, like I said. Now, I do not know the quality of this resin. I have used resin for other projects before, and I used I can't remember the brand name. I want to say it's like a Meritech Light something. This doesn't look like it has a brand, but it came with the kit, and so I don't want it to go to waste. I'm gonna try it, and this is a tumbler that I plan on keeping for myself. So if the quality isn't great, I will know then if I'm making tumblers for gifts or to sell that I need to get a better epoxy resin. Another thing that came in one of the kits was a heat gun. It is recommended that you get this or a torch like you use for creme brulee to heat the epoxy as it's on the cup, because that helps get rid of air bubbles. So I have that off to the side here for when we need it. Now the fun stuff. Let me show you the glitters I got. Both of the kits that I got came with craft glitter, but again, I don't know the quality, and I have heard that some craft glitters don't withstand the epoxy or the heat very well. So I placed an order, and I'm already obsessed. This just came yesterday, and I'm already like wanting more. These are from Fran's Glitter and More. Oh my gosh, like I am obsessed with these colors. Look how bright they are. They're just so pretty. So I got some fine glitters because I thought that was a good place to start out with, but I also got some really pretty chunky glitters. This one is like a gold with maybe a little bit of a rose gold chunky glitter in it, and then this one's like a lavender holographic glitter. So I have those, and then I also ordered some mica powders. I don't think I need that for this project specifically, but I have seen some people mix these into their resins to give a different color, like a background color on the cup. So I got those to try. They're not very expensive, the mica powders, so I figured it's something that I can play around with, and if I don't like them, it's like not really any great loss since they were not expensive. And Fran's, I looked at a couple different glitter companies. Fran's, I heard a lot of great things about her, and she also has great prices, and the glitter is measured by weight. Some places measure by volume, so you might get this container and it like won't be filled. You can see these are very full because it's by weight. And yeah, overall I was impressed with the prices. I was impressed with the selection, and these are just so pretty. So this is going to be a Mean Girls cup. I saw a couple people share this like on TikTok, and a couple people are selling them on Etsy. But basically you cover this in, I think Wednesday is probably the one that's going to go best. I really liked Fetch too, but I think I need a different background for Fetch. This one looks like it'll go well with this darker pink. So I'm going to use Wednesday to cover this whole cup. And then what you do is you use decals to make it look like the burn book and like put some of the quotes and stuff on there. So that will be a later part of this process. It might be a second video depending on how long this gets. Oh, and then the last thing I got from Fran's is this really cute little silicone mold. I had no idea like that this was such a thing with people who make cups, but I kept seeing them when I was doing my research, and I figured out why. It's because when you measure and mix your epoxy, like you don't want it to just go to waste if you have more than enough for your cup. So you take the extra and you put it in these molds, and then you can make, like this one would be a keychain, but there's also molds for earrings and bangle bracelets and things like that. So there's so much cool stuff that you can do with resin that I never even thought of. I think that's enough talking and explaining. I feel like I've been procrastinating a little bit because I am a little bit nervous. Okay, so it says we want the bottles to be a little warm before we mix them. Okay, so you actually want to do, you measure each one separately and then mix. So I need to get some more of my little measuring cups. I don't know what these things are for. They're very small. Like, I guess maybe if you're just making keychains, you could do them in here. But I'm gonna use these bigger cups for now because I think I'll need more than what will fit in those little baby cups. So what I was going to say is I think the hardest part of this process is going to be figuring out how to clean this epoxy. These feel like high quality. I don't want to just use them once and throw them out, but I'm not sure how to clean them either. So that's going to be something to Google when I'm done here, I guess. All right, it is time to get started. I'm going to put my gloves on. I do have a mask that I can wear if needed. I know it's recommended to wear a mask, but I opened the window in this room and turned the fan on, and I'm hoping that's sufficient because I don't really want to wear a mask. And these gloves feel a little too big for me, so I'm hoping that doesn't make this process challenging. I think I'm gonna start with a less is more approach and just do like 10 milliliters of each for 20 milliliters total. And then I can always mix a little more up if I need to. So there is part A. The other challenging thing about this is now I need to find more space in my craft room for all of this stuff to be stored. Like, I've added so much storage to my craft room over the past few months, and it just seems like it's never enough. Like, as soon as I get more storage, I need more storage. It gets filled up. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to store all these pretty glitters and resins and things like that. Well, first I'm gonna open this glitter because there is a seal inside. Oh, look how pretty that is. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I can't get over it. I'm obsessed already. Like, I got this order, and then I saw today that she does a monthly, well, you can do it monthly, bi-monthly, or every 3 months. She does a subscription box, and it's only open for a certain number of people. I think she opens it up every month as long as she has space, and she just opened it today, and I jumped right on and did a subscription box. And I'm like, geez, I really hope that I like making these because I'm gonna have so much glitter, it's not even funny. Okay, I'm going to use this heat gun and just aim it down at the epoxy to make sure it's warm to avoid bubbles as much as possible. This heat gun does get very warm, very hot. Okay, now we mix them together. I feel like a scientist pouring things into these little measuring cups and mixing chemicals together. I hope I got that all out. They look pretty well cleared out. Let's see. Give it a couple squeezes. Yeah, we're right at about 20 ml, so I think I got just about everything out of these that I can. And now we mix. So I am mixing this, and I'm trying to do it a little slowly because the faster you mix it, the more bubbles you get. And there are definitely bubbles in this. You can see them coming up to the surface. I believe that's normal. And I think that our heat gun, once we put it on the cup, is going to get rid of any lingering bubbles. So I'm just trying to mix this as best as I can. I'm not sure for how long I need to mix it. Let me see if this says. Oh, 3 to 5 minutes. All right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to turn on the TV and watch a little bit of Botched while I do this so I don't get bored. So I'm gonna cut this part out of the video, and I'll see you when I'm done mixing. Okay, guys, I've been mixing for about 5 minutes, so now is the scary part. I'm going to start pouring this on to the tumbler, and this is supposed to be a thin, even layer. So as I pour, I am going to use my silicone brush to work it all over the tumbler and try to make it even. And as you can see, it does drip, so that's why you have this paper here and this protective work area, this silicone mat. Whoops, I don't want it there. Oh my goodness. Well, you can see this is already a little bit messy for me. I'm sure this gets easier the more you do it. But I have some dripping right now off of the end of my cup, and I think I'm gonna need to grab a paper towel and wipe it because some of it landed on the turning arm. And I don't want that to harden there. I have a little bit of time though, so I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna focus on getting this all over the cup. And I am really wondering if it's just easier to use a gloved hand, because this feels like it's kind of messy. Like I feel like this paintbrush, this silicone brush is like flicking it, like some landed way far over. So, yeah, I need a little bit more at the bottom there. There are definitely some spots, like you can tell where it's not on the tumbler. You can tell where you need more, for sure. But let me grab a paper towel and wipe up the little messes that I've already created. I'm thinking that either you have to be okay with messes to do this, or hopefully it's just less messy after you figure out what you're doing. Because this feels very messy to me, and I'm not a fan of having a mess in my work area. Let's do a little bit more brushing and evening this out. I am about ready to just try the glove method and see how it goes, because this, whenever I get to the top of it, the top of the cup at the lip, it seems to kind of like fling the epoxy past the cup, and that's very frustrating. Maybe if I go this way, that seems to be helping. Okay, let's work on spreading some more down. I don't think you want any like pools or puddles of this, so in the areas that I'm seeing that, I'm just using my silicone brush to spread it down the tumbler a bit more. So I'm using my right hand to use the paintbrush, and then my left hand I'm just using to kind of guard from that flinging of the resin and to sort of wipe the edge of the cup when the epoxy goes up past it and pools or drips, if that makes sense. I'm thinking I need a little bit more down here. I do have some bare spots. I think the top half of the cup looks pretty good as far as evenness. Maybe not so much with evenness, but with coverage at least it looks pretty good. Like I think I have the right amount there. It's just a matter of getting it a little bit more spread out. All right, you know what? We're gonna go with the glove. I'm gonna pour a little bit more, and we're gonna go with the glove and see how it goes. I just have a feeling it's gonna be easier to work this in with my hand versus the paintbrush. The nice thing, okay, this definitely I think helps because I can feel more with my fingertips, like where the epoxy is covered correctly and where I might need some more. So this may be a preferable method. I do want to get the bottom of the cup too. So I'm just going to pour and use my gloved hand to rub that into an even layer on the bottom of my tumbler. And let's go over this again and just make sure that we have a good amount. Oops, there's something that's stuck to it. I don't know what that is. We'll have to catch that when it comes back around. But yeah, overall, I think the coverage is good. It's looking like we're pretty even across the cup. And yeah, I think we're pretty good. So the next step, oh, that's where the spray paint's a little uneven. That makes it a little tricky to tell. So I'm gonna take these gloves off, and I'm trying to just keep my messy tools in one spot, like on top of the silicone cups over there. Now, the thing I did not think about is that paper was catching all that resin, and then that's not what I want my glitter to go on top of, because, oh, I just got my fingers on the resin. Because if my glitter falls on top of that paper with the resin, it's gonna ruin the glitter and I won't be able to pour it back into the cup. So I'm gonna grab 2 more pieces of paper and tape these together. All right, before I put the paper down to catch the glitter, I'm gonna shoot this with the heat gun. You wanna move it quickly and not keep it in one area for too long, because the resin can burn and we don't want that. Okay, so now that I used the heat gun, I'm seeing some like dimpling in the resin, and I'm not sure if that's normal or not. So I'm gonna put a glove back on and see if I can smooth that out a bit, because I don't know if that's like a negative effect from the heat. I don't know if I used too much heat for too long, or if that is something totally normal that I don't need to worry about, but I just don't want to have like a funky, like weird texture on my cup when it's done. So I'm going to try to spread that out a little bit. But the other thing I'm doing is some of the resin made its way into the rim of the cup, and I'm just trying to clean that up because I don't want it to stick to my turner when I try to take it off. So hopefully that does the trick. I think that should be good. Let's put this glove on and just smooth things back out a little bit. Now comes the fun part. It's time to start throwing some glitter. All right. Glove is back off. We've got our paper here to catch any extra. And I do have extra resin in here, so I'm going to pour it in this mold. I'm going to pour it into the mold and just mix some of the glitter into this. I'm not sure if that's how the molds are supposed to work, but we will figure it out, hopefully. Okay, my mold is full, and look, I have like just a little bit of resin left, so I may order a second mold to have on hand for that, but I think I did an overall pretty good job of measuring that resin out to a decent amount. So I just shook a little of the glitter into the resin in the mold, and I'm going to take another small popsicle stick and just swirl it in there a little bit to make sure it gets everywhere. I might have a little bit too much resin in this mold. You know what? This is dimpling again, and I didn't run the heat gun on it. What is up with that? Alright, one more time. Now I'll have an even number of gloves again. I'm going to spread it out one more time. Alright, we're pretty smooth again, so I'm just going to go for it and start pouring this glitter on. Wish me luck. I'm going to dump it into, I'm going to pour some into one of these little baby cups, because I think that's going to give me better control for getting it onto the tumbler. So here we go. So what I have read a lot or seen a lot in the videos I've watched is not to chase the cup around with your glitter. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to take a good amount of glitter. not to chase it around, but just to kind of pour on the areas you can get to while it's spinning and hit the other areas as they come back around. It's beautiful. I'm obsessed with the sparkle in this, and I'm just going to toss a little bit onto the bottom of the cup. I'm just going to kind of throw it at it with this little measuring cup here. I really hope that all this extra glitter on this paper like refills this jar a lot, because otherwise that is a lot of glitter to use. Of course, doing all one cup, or all one color on a cup, you're obviously going to use more glitter than if you had lots of colors on the cup. Yeah, like that's almost empty, you guys. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness I signed up for that subscription. That'll be so fun. It's like, so I signed up for the every 2 months. So every 2 months, I'm going to get a subscription box of 5 exclusive colors. Okay. Wish me luck. It's time to pour this back into, that is a boatload of glitter. I'm trying to think of how I'm going to do this without spilling it everywhere. Oh, thank goodness. It is not nearly as much glitter as I thought it was going to be missing from that jar. So, as you can see, I have some spillage here, no big deal. I will work on somehow getting that cleaned back up, but put that to the side. Here is my jar. So I thought I used like a whole jar of glitter on that cup, and it totally used like 1/10 of the jar. Maybe a 12th. I hope that's good coverage wise. I mean, I don't see any areas that are missing glitter. I think we're gonna call that good, because once it dries, if it looks like it's spotty or lacking coverage, I can always put another layer of epoxy on it and do a second layer of glitter. And I might do that anyways, just for like some extra sparkle. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is put this cup over. I have a little space cleared off on one of the my like low bookshelves on the top that I can put this in, and it will be able to cure undisturbed like all night. So I can just pick this back up tomorrow. But yeah, I'm super excited to see how this turns out. I'm obsessed with this pink glitter. So yeah, thanks for joining me. This video is going to be super long, so this is just going to be part 1, and then I will do a part 2 where we do like the finishing steps of this cup and add the decals and everything else. So thanks for joining me on my first attempt at a glitter tumbler. If you liked this video, hit the like button and hit subscribe to see more, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!